You know, when you get older, you start to realize shit that didn't quite make too much sense when you were a kid. But now that I'm older, you know, and my dad taught me right, you know. Dad taught me right. And I'm making this video tonight because my dad taught me right. Folks, there's a little thing we got in this country. Whoops. I closed the door on it, got attention. Because it's just like you closing the door and you got your attention. There's a problem, right? With the focus. Focus on being on some poisonous things out there that people shouldn't be touching. And then there's all of a sudden some that people shouldn't be touching, like chemistry is made by man, called a firearm. And these fucking things weren't made by a man, so it's a little complicated for you to, you know, do all this shit. And it all of a sudden, people they grow a big pair of balls when they got one of these. And I implore upon you and the powers that be, please explain to me why you feel our government should be more concerned with people going around putting toxic chemicals in their mouth and poison themselves versus all of a sudden, boom. Okay? That should be controlled. That shit, you want to poison yourself? And folks, I'm trying to do this in a legal way for YouTube to not censor me. Folks, if you want to poison yourself, okay, like a rat, and eat chemicals and die, for the love of God, do so in the privacy of your own home and leave your firearms where they belong. Not in your fucking Walmart when you're going down the street. You don't need to be packing to protect yourself from nobody, folks. You have a gun-free zone. You go from your school to your Walmart. This is not a war zone. Ain't nobody, we're not under attack. You leave your guns, you leave them at home. Okay? Nobody around my neighborhood should have a unit in their pistol that can go through my home and around the rest of our homes just because I didn't have a good day. No. That's why we have gun control. Gun control, drug enforcement agency, deadly, effective accuracy. Right? This is a drug. It was made by human hands. Okay? It's evil. Just like a lot of drugs, folks. You cannot plant this in the ground all of a sudden and smoke it. This shit ain't gonna do nobody good unless you got a job to do. And that's why, as much as I stand behind the Second Amendment, right, bear arms, right, I think we got to have gun-free zones. Say, now check it out. I defend my right, right? Defend my, you can't do shit now, can you? But folks, everybody's got a bigger gun than you. At the end of the day, if they want to, if I wanted to, I could shoot an RPG through your house, a missile, even though, you know, folks, we're not in a war zone. You know, I pay taxes, so I defend my peace of mind with my tax paying. I don't need to armor my home. An armament, I pay taxes for that. I shouldn't have to feel as if I need to somehow fortify my freedom financially by building a big wall around the perimeter of my property. That is not the way of democracy. And that's not the way of peace. So nice. As quiet as here. You go just 15, 20 minutes away from here. It's not like that. Okay. And if you go across the river, folks, imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all people living for today. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us.